Model 31 in my book, Thinking for Success, is called the Information Authority Gap. This one is fascinating to me because the story that we start with is about United Airlines. They had oversold a plane. In other words, there was maybe 200 seats and they sold 205 tickets. And so they needed somebody to get off. And the gate agents who were working the boarding process were offering $500, a meal voucher, little incentives like that, but nobody would take it. And so ultimately they had their priorities on who needed to be on the plane based on United's algorithm, probably including profitability and frequent flyers and all that kind of stuff. And they ended up calling the police, the airport police, and they dragged a guy off the plane. Literally, physically dragged him off the plane. Well, it turns out he was a surgeon, and all the other passengers got their cell phones out and they were recording this horrible event. Now, see, I'm sure United's CEO didn't want the gate agents or the police to treat their customers this way. But the policies of United at the time had only authorized up to a small amount of money, 500 or $1,000 or something like that. So the gate agents knew 500 bucks wasn't doing the job, but the people who make the decisions about policies didn't have that information. There's the gap. Information is down here at the tends to be the lowest frontline level of the organization, whereas the authority to make decisions tends to be higher, and there's often a disconnect. And as leaders, we make bad policy because we don't know what's going on. The solution here is to push authority and decision making down as low as possible into an organization. You can also try to get information up, but that process takes time. The ideal situation is where the people who have the information are authorized to make the decisions. Now, by the way, United has raised their authorization for their gate agents to $10,000. So just in case you're ever in that situation, you could ask for $10,000. I found I needed some kind of service or something on a washing machine that I had purchased, and the person on the phone said they would give me some tiny amount, like an interest credit or $10 or something like that. And so I asked, "Is that the largest amount you're authorized to give?" And she instantly went up to the max, and like half of the cost of the washing machine was refunded. It's a good question to ask. Is that the maximum amount you're authorized to give? Push the decision making authority down to the people who have the information.